Welcome to another episode of Britison Unpacked, where we break down the essentials for living and thriving in the UK. Today, we're launching into Chapter 1, the values and principles of the UK. This chapter is foundational, both for passing the Life in the UK test and for integrating into British society.
Absolutely, and it's often underestimated how central these values are, not just for ticking boxes on a form, but for understanding what it truly means to live here. We'll unpack rights, responsibilities, and how these principles shape everyday life in Britain.
That's right. Many people focus on memorizing facts for the test, but it's the deeper grasp of these values that helps you feel at home and welcomed. Let's begin by outlining what this chapter covers.
Chapter 1 gives a comprehensive overview starting from the rights and obligations every resident holds to the step-by-step process of applying for permanent residence or citizenship. It's your roadmap to becoming an active participant in UK society.
Let's start with the basics. What are the fundamental rights and responsibilities that apply to everyone living in the UK, regardless of citizenship status?
Every resident, whether citizen or not, is entitled to basic freedoms like access to healthcare, education, and protection under the law. However, everyone is also expected to respect others' rights, obey laws, and contribute positively to their community.
That's a key point. Rights and responsibilities go hand in hand. For example, while you have the right to free speech, you're also expected not to incite hatred or violence. This balance is fundamental to British society.
Exactly. Think of it as a social contract. The community supports you, but you also have an active role in maintaining harmony and upholding shared values. This approach is what makes the UK a fantastic place to live, as the handbook describes.
The handbook mentions Britain's long and illustrious history and its tradition of welcoming migrants. How has this shaped modern UK society?
Historically, the UK has been a crossroads for people from all over the world. Irish, Caribbean, South Asian, and Eastern European communities have all contributed to its rich tapestry. Today, over 14% of the population was born abroad, making the UK one of the most diverse countries in Europe.
That diversity isn't just cultural, but also drives innovation, from cuisine to science. The NHS, for example, relies heavily on international staff, reflecting the open and inclusive ethos the UK aspires to maintain.
Absolutely, and embracing this diversity is considered a key strength. The government encourages new residents to retain their heritage while also integrating into local life, which is central to successful multiculturalism.
Let's shift to the process. What does it actually mean to apply for permanent residence or citizenship in the UK?
Applying is more than paperwork. It's a formal agreement to accept responsibilities, respect UK laws, and actively contribute to society. It signifies your intention to make the UK your long-term home and to support its values.
So, in a sense, it's a partnership. By seeking permanent status, you're saying, I want to be part of this story and play my part.
Exactly, and that's why the Life in the UK test and other requirements ensure applicants are prepared for both the privileges and obligations that come with residency or citizenship.
Language is a central requirement. Can you explain the English proficiency standards for permanent residence or citizenship?
Certainly, you need to show you can speak and understand English at ESOL Entry Level 3 or bone on the Common European Framework. This ensures you can navigate daily life from seeing a doctor to working or volunteering.
And there are two pathways: taking the Life in the UK test or completing an ESOL course with citizenship content for those below Entry Level 3. Both focus on integrating language with practical knowledge of UK life.
Right. Since October 2013, both the test and proof of English skills at bone level are required for settlement. It's wise to regularly check the UK Border Agency website for any policy updates before applying.
Let's delve into the heart of British values. What are the 5 core principles all residents are expected to uphold?
They are democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, tolerance of different faiths and beliefs, and participation in community life. Each principle is deeply rooted in British history. Think of Magna Carta or the expansion of voting rights in the 19th century.
It's worth noting that these values aren't just theoretical. For instance, tolerance is reflected in anti-discrimination laws, while democracy is practiced through regular, free elections where everyone can vote.
Exactly. To anchor this, new citizens take a pledge during the citizenship ceremony, affirming loyalty and a promise to uphold these democratic values.
Building on those principles, what are the everyday responsibilities and freedoms that come with living in the UK?
Responsibilities include obeying the law, respecting others' rights, treating people fairly, caring for yourself and family, and maintaining your local area. In return, you enjoy freedoms like belief, speech, freedom from unfair discrimination, a fair trial, and participation in elections.
So, for example, you're free to express your religious beliefs, but you're also expected to respect the beliefs of other 7 if they differ from your own. This mutual respect forms the bedrock of social harmony.
Precisely. It's a two-way street. Freedoms are protected by law, but everyone has a duty to not infringe on others' rights. This balance is what keeps society just and equitable.
Let's get practical. What can applicants expect from the Life in the UK test itself?
The test consists of 24 multiple-choice questions covering all sections of the handbook. Each candidate gets a unique set of questions, so thorough preparation is essential. The language level matches ESOL Entry Level 3, making it accessible but still challenging.
And the only valid testing centers are those registered with the UK government. Booking is exclusively online, and you'll need to bring identification and proof of address to sit the test.
Absolutely. Also, while there are glossaries and helpful summaries, relying solely on these isn't enough. The test draws from the entire handbook, so comprehensive study is crucial.
Booking the test can be daunting. What are some key steps and common mistakes to avoid?
First, always book through the official website. Third-party or unofficial centers aren't recognized. Double-check your details, especially names and addresses, as errors can prevent you from sitting the test.
Don't forget to bring original ID documents and proof of address on the day. There have been cases where people were turned away for minor paperwork issues.
Exactly. And if you live on the Isle of Man or Channel Islands, note that arrangements differ. Always consult the latest guidelines to ensure you're fully compliant with current requirements.
For those seeking more information, where can applicants go for reliable support and updates?
Start with the UK Border Agency website for forms and application details. The Life in the UK test website is essential for test logistics, and gov.uk provides guidance on ESOL courses and finding language support in your area.
Cross-referencing these resources ensures you're working with up-to-date information, particularly as immigration policies and test requirements can evolve over time.
And remember, understanding British values isn't just for the test, it's a lifelong process of learning and engaging with your community. Staying informed will help you thrive long after you pass the exam.
As we wrap up, let's recap. Understanding the UK's values and principles is your entry point to a successful application and a fulfilling life here.
Exactly. Embracing these values helps you integrate, participate in community life, and enjoy the full rights and freedoms of UK residents. It's not just about passing the test, it's about building a future in a diverse, inclusive society.
Next time, we'll explore Chapter 2 and dive into the makeup of the UK itself, countries, cultures, and key terms. Stay tuned, and remember, the more you understand, the more empowered you'll feel on your journey to citizenship.
Thanks for joining us. Keep studying, stay curious, and don't hesitate to reach out to local community groups or official resources if you need support along the way.